My crochet bag is my lifeline. It goes everywhere with me. And today I'm going to show you everything I keep in it and what I take with me, including a few little secrets and a couple of little surprises. Hi, come on in. I'm Caroline, this is Caro-stitched, and I've been crocheting for most of my life. And the things that I've carried with me has developed as I've gone along and realised extras that I feel I need. So let's have a look at what I feel are my essentials, what I carry with me, including those couple of extras. Things I take with me when I'm going to be crocheting elsewhere. So this is a bag I take just about everywhere with me, especially to family and friends' houses where I want to still crochet a little bit. I do have another bigger bag that I take when I go on holiday. It can get bigger projects and so on in it. And I also have a really small one that I can take on trains and boats and on airplanes and so on, because when I travel, especially going up the Shetland Isles, it is quite a distance. And again, in between working, it was always handy to be able to have that small bag that I could take on trains and so on. So that I will cover in another video, because it's a totally different sort of thing than this particular bag that I just take as a daily bag with me. So I suppose let's have a quick look in it. And certainly for myself, I'll start with the wool. Now often it is ends of wool I have in here, or part skeins, because obviously I'm already started doing something, or I like to use up my colours. So it's always tends to be parts of things that I'm using when I take the bag with me. However, I thought I'd put in a couple of my favourite yarns that I do use and is often in the bag with me. So one of my favourites, and frequently comes with me, especially when I'm doing little baby blankets and so on, is this Flutterby wool. Really soft, really, squeegee, brilliant for making up quick blankets and so on, because it's quite thick too, as well as being soft squeegee. It comes in a lovely variety of colours. I'm not affiliate linked to any of these. I'm not making any money. It just happens to be one of my favourites. So really nice. Another one that I love, and it's better for this time of year because it's now starting to warm up. So it's a DK wool. So it's a lightweight 3. And this is the Pato Baby double knit. Really nice and soft. Comes in such a wonderful bright variety of colours. So absolutely brilliant for this time of year. I'm going to be making some little bucket hats out of it and so on. So absolutely perfect for that. So that's the wools that I tend to take with me, and especially at the minute, as I say, it tends to be part of a skein rather than a full skein or a project that I've already started on. Then we get on to my hook case. Now this tends to come with me because I carry this as well. This is my go-to. It has everything, has my life in it. I think sometimes it's something that I can take upstairs when I'm crocheting, in the sitting room when I'm crocheting, in the dining room, to other people's houses. It's got so many things in it that I need. So this is one of my lifelines, my crochet hook case. Now in it, I obviously do have my crochet hooks, and I do have, this is usually where my bigger ones would be, and obviously if I need them I will put them in, but I've started to put some of my ergonomic ones in there because I like to use them, because especially when I do a lot of crochet, my hand can get a little bit sore. So this I do use a lot. All the different sizes. Now I tend to use a size 4, size 5, and those sorts of ones more frequently, but obviously when I'm doing this sorts of ones, it tends to be a size 6 or 6.5, depending on the pattern that I'm doing and what I want it to look like, whether I want it looser or tighter. So that tends to be for that one. I do have extras of some of these that I keep in other places, but this I try to make sure I keep a good balance of the different sizes to make sure I have them if I need them when I'm out and about. Let me come to the other side here. And this has all sorts in it. Now, I do take a little ruler with me. This is a little metal ruler. It's part of a set. I have another 2 larger ones that I use for other things, but this one I take with me because it's really handy, I find, for measuring things like the crowns of the hats and so on, because I just find it easier when I've got a ruler rather than just a tape measure. I do have having said that, I do have my tape measure. That always goes with me. And it's really handy because obviously you want to know the length that you've got to for everything and whether it's right or not, especially if you're doing baby hats and so on too. I do have a stitch counter that tends to come with me in case I need it, although I tend to use it as a row counter rather than a stitch counter. A little pack of darn and needles so that I can finish in my ends, much as I hate doing it. Of course, my little pair of scissors, and need your scissors so that I can finish off, cut my ends so that I can finish them off. Absolutely ideal. They are also got this little cover on them, and obviously I have grandchildren, some quite small grandchildren, so I like to make sure that everything's quite safe. So again, my darn needles are in a container. My scissors has a cover on them, and everything is returned back into here simply because I need to make sure it's safe. Not that the monkeys don't get into it sometimes, because they do. Now then, the other things I do have, now I'm actually quite surprised, but I actually have in here, if I can get to it, I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little stitch marker. Now, don't get me wrong, I use stitch markers constantly, but I often don't have these. I usually have, as you can tell, these instead. I have a variety of paper clips, and that I was surprised to see one of my proper stitch markers in there, because I tend to use these instead. I find that they're really handy. They hook on really well to your work, and they don't tend to fall out, and you don't have to keep, because I find with these, of course, you're having to fasten them, you have to get them apart, it's not so easy, you have to fasten them, and I find that they can be sometimes a bit awkward. This, I find it perfect. They hook on really easy, they don't tend to fall out the same if they're left open as what these do. I just find them easier, they're inexpensive, and yeah, I just use them a lot. The other thing I have in here is a hair clip. Now that's not so much for my hair, although I must admit sometimes it'd be a good idea. It's for when I'm working. I will put that through the, when I take my hook out, I will put that through the final loop when I'm still working on a project, clip it onto the rest of the work, clip it closed, and it keeps it there and keeps it secure so that it doesn't unravel on you, and you can always find it, and keeps the ends really secure. So that's a really good tip for you. Now I do have a video out that has more of these everyday objects that you can use for crochet tools should you want to. I'll link it up here in case you want to have a look at it. And as you can tell, I do use these things all the time. They tend to be in my crochet bag at all points because they're really useful. Right, let's have a look at what else I've got. So those, I think, were the little bit of a surprise things you might not expect me to have, such as paper clips and hair clips in there. And then there's my couple of little secret stash things that I have that comes in my bag too. So I have my hand cream because I find that my hands get really dry, so hand cream to me is really important. Have my AirPods. Now, AirPods come with me because if you're traveling, having AirPods is really handy, because often I will look up something on my phone, I want to hear what somebody is saying, I can listen to something while I'm crocheting on a train or a plane or so on, and it does make such a difference. So yeah, AirPods, they come with me. And then something that I prefer you didn't tell my grandchildren about, because they're bad enough at trying to get my wool. They definitely want to get this. Now, this is a little snack, just in case I feel a little bit hungry, because obviously crochet is a very hard job to have to do. So, yeah, I have my little snack in my bag, and it's something that, as I say, my grandchildren don't need to know about. So this bag is my go-to with all my crochet things that I take with me. But I do find, especially when I'm traveling, having a couple of quick little makes really does make a difference. You can crochet them, finish them, go in the bottom of your bag, ready for later on. And sometimes we really just need those quick projects that we can finish quickly and complete on the go. And I have put together some quick fun mix that you can complete in about 30 minutes or less, and I will link it here so that you can go straight to it. Don't forget to comment and let me know what your favourite wool is. Thank you for joining me, for keeping me company, and I'll see you in this one.